Hi and welcome. Let's see file class constructors, okay, and its methods. So I want to create a directory with test1 in the previous folder only. Fine. So if I just create f.mkdir, so it will create this new directory, correct? Now let's use second constructor. Now in this new directory, I want to create a file, okay? So I will pass the path of this directory and I will create a file test1.txt. Fine. So to create a file, what we have to do? We have to change the name. We have to call f1.create new file. Then file f2, third constructor, file. Now inside the same, I want to create one more file. So I do not have to actually pass the path again. I can just pass f1 because it is pointing to this particular directory. I can just pass f1 and create one more file. Let's say test2.txt. Fine. And to create the file, f2 dot create new file. So this is how we can create files in uh, files inside a directory. Okay. So let's see, run it and see, check it out. Okay, here we have to pass f, not f1, because f1 is pointing to a file and f is pointing to this directory. Okay, so we have to pass f. Now when we run it and see, the test1 is created. Inside test1 we have test1.txt, test2.txt, and this was the mistake that was made before, so let's reduce it. So test1.txt, test2.txt. Fine, files are created. This is how these constructors work. Now let's look at the methods. We will use the same file, okay, and we will use this Java folder. Inside this Java folder we have two directories and one file. Inside this directory we have two more files. So the problem statement is we need to print all the files and directories inside this Java folder. Fine. So how can we do that? So I told you we will use list function, and this list method actually returns me a array, string array. So we store that in a string array. Now for string element in str, we will simply print. We are going to simply print element. Fine. So if we simply run it, we should get all the we are getting test1 and test file.txt that is present inside Java. Okay, now if you want to get the file names that are also present inside test1, then you have to actually write here test1. So now it will give you the file names that are present inside test1. Fine, directories and file names present inside test1. Here they are. Fine. What I want is, I just want now to only print the files, not the directories. So what we can do before printing, we can have a simple check that whether the file f that is pointing to is this element string is actually a file name or a directory name. How we can check it? So what we have to do is, we have to create one more file f1 equals to new file. Now f is pointing to a directory and element is the name of the file inside that directory. Correct? F is pointing to the directory and element is the name inside the directory. What is the issue in this? Okay, just give the brackets, scope brackets. So why we are creating this? Why we cannot just simply write if element dot is file or element dot is directory? Because is file and is directory are the functions of file class, and element is actually a string class, string type. So therefore it cannot be used. So what we have to do is, we first need a reference to the file or the directory that element is pointing to. Fine. So therefore we use the third constructor here. And now we can check if f1.isFile is file. In that case, print the element. So if you just run it now, Now it will only print the file name, that is test file, that is present. So in these three, only file is test file, so it will only print test file. And if you use is directory, it will only print now the directory, not the test file. Fine. Okay. See here, test and test1 are the directory names. If I want to print, let's say, file f1 equals to, or if I want to also print in is file the length of this file, can we do that? Yes, we can do that. The file is pointed by f1, so we can simply print skip scope brackets, we can print f1 dot length. But right now we have not actually printed anything inside that file, so it should return me a simple 0. If I want to write something, see if I write like this. Okay, so now it will give me the number of characters that are present inside the file, which are 32. Okay, so these are the methods, and if you want to simply delete the file, simply call f.delete and it will delete the file. Okay, so if I call f1.delete here, so it will delete the file right here. Fine. So once it runs, I will just simply show you this, that this test file.txt will simply get deleted because we have called the function. See, it gets deleted here. Fine. Okay, so these are the functions of file class. We have seen the constructors and the methods of file class. Fine. Then now we are going to see what are the different things that we have to use to write into a file and to read from a file. Okay, there are various different classes. We will see how to use those classes. Okay, thank you.